Huh?
I'm upside down. This is okay. Looks good.
Yeah, I think they flip it up.
No. Holding hands, people, is so nice.
It's
Americans
don't do that a lot.
You know what the Tibetans do?
What do?
They hold your hand like this.
Yeah.
You know why? They check your energy. So,
Well, do you also check the energy?
yes, I do. This time, hold your hand. Just relax. Okay, let's lie down.
All right, we're gonna lie down. All right.
Yeah.
All right. This is nice.
Okay, look at the sky. You see, just to feel the ground, because
Yeah.
everything is always covered with concrete, and you don't feel any energy.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Thank you for taking your time again to come talk to us
On the rainy day.
on a rainy day, all the way in Brooklyn.
Yeah, this is like going to another planet.
For the people at home who may not know who you are, would you be able to tell us?
I'm going to look to the camera because the viewers are there. So my name is Marina Abramovic, and I'm a performance artist and human being. That's more or less it.
Marina Abramovic is the most well-known performance artist of our time. Considered the grandmother of performance art, she helped to pioneer the form. Nearing 70, she's just released her memoir, Walk Through Walls, which illuminates her extraordinary journey from communist Yugoslavia to the pinnacle of the art world.
So ask me the question that you actually never ask anybody.
Oh, and never asked anybody?
Or just something that you just wanted to ask, but actually is not in the script.
Oh, well,
Yes.
never asked anyone. Well, something about, I think, interviewing. There's always a tension with the interviewer and the interviewee where I think the interviewer wants the other person to like them a little. So my question would be, so how are we doing?
I think because I met you before, and it was great because one thing you've done was very, very 10 plus for me, to give me this book as a present, which was the Zizek jokes. And I love Zizek jokes. And also jokes is something, the way the humor is very important for me. And the people, when they look my work, they think that, oh my God, she's so serious, and it's like, they didn't want to meet me because they're afraid of me. But then they meet me and I'm hilarious, basically. Because the jokes is the way how I see the life. The jokes is the way how I can cope with reality. And I think we're doing well because you give me this book of these jokes. So that was a good kind of opening for communication.
One of your most celebrated works is Rhythm Zero, which you performed when you were 28. Can you describe what this performance was?
First I have to say a little bit of context, what performance is. So if anybody asks me what is performance, I could say the performance is a mental and physical construction that you create in a certain time and space in the front of audience. And then you perform and you step into this kind of energetic circle, which, dialogue can happen with the audience. In those days, in early 70s, I was doing lots of work, and I was cutting myself, and I was doing things that I really push the physical limits of the body to see, how far I can go. And I've been very much criticized. I was being saying that I was a masochist, that this was not art at all, that I should be put in mental hospital straight. And I was so fed up with this because somehow intuitively, I know I was right. I would know I was on the right path. And I created this performance, Rhythm Zero, in which one I actually don't move at all. I just standing there, dressed in a black t-shirt and black trousers, and in the front of me are 72 objects on the table. With the instruction, I'm an object, you can do whatever you want with me, including killing me, and I take all responsibility, and 6 hours. I want to see what the public can do if I do nothing. I'm being so criticized that I do too much. Now I'm there for the public to do whatever they want. So this was a kind of hell. It was very dangerous. It was almost like a question of your destiny. You know, people like in the beginning do nothing. They will be very shy and tender, and they will give me a rose. And then later on, they will the scissors cut the clothes. They will take the pins of the rose and put in my stomach and everywhere in the body. They will take the knife, cut my neck and drink the blood. It went really crazy. And after 6 hours, the galleries came and said, 6 hours is over. So I actually start moving and I become me, half naked with blood all over and tears in my eyes and look like hell. And I moved towards the public just, to have contact. They literally ran away, all of them. And they could not confront me with being me now, with going out to performance structure. And I remember going to the hotel and I went, look in the mirror when I have the piece of gray hair in my head. I said, oh my God, public can kill you. Serious. It's easy to perform the people that like you, but it's so much more interesting to perform with the people that doesn't know you and doesn't like you, and to kind of shift that energy and change it. That's a really task. You have to take your ego away. Ego is such a huge obstacle for any artist. When you think you are better than anybody else, when you think you're God or you're icon or whatever. I love always the Woody Allen statement, today I'm a star, tomorrow I'm a black hole. You always have to think that actually any second you can become this black hole.
Where do you feel you're in your sort of star life, right? You're the star, there's the star and there's the black hole. Like, do you feel like you're...
I shift all the time. In the morning I can wake up in the deep black hole and then I go into the other thing. The best thing to do is to go to the Museum of Natural History. And then you have this planetarium which is made for kids, and it's kind of 10 minutes or 12 minutes program. So you go in with all these other kids around. Observatory open and they show you black matter, or they show you Milky Way, and then George Clooney voice comes and say, this is a planet Earth, which is like my favorite. And then you see we are tiny little dot. We are not even in the center of Milky Way. We are kind of outskirts. We are kind of periphery. We're like a Brooklyn of Milky Way, And then you kind of get right perspective.
So your art is very rebellious and radical, but your upbringing was actually very strict. I was wondering if you'd just tell us about your childhood.
The hell of my childhood. Actually, looking back, but now looking back, not when I was a child, actually it was so important to have this miserable childhood, because I think nobody anything do from happiness. Happiness is a state you don't want to change. Happiness is a state is not creative, because you're just happy, that's it. But if you're miserable and you have the really bad childhood, you have a big chance to become better artist, because you have so much material to work with. And I had that luck to have so much material to work with. It was difficult. It was gloomy Belgrade after the war, born 1946, with a mother who was pretty much insane, looking back. I mean, she was everything to do with discipline and control and hygiene. I was 29 when I escaped home, and I was not able to come after 10 o'clock in the evening home, making performances at that time and coming 10 o'clock home. It was just kind of constantly risking that you could be beaten up. I remember the one moment of my life when actually before I left, I had a retrospective in the museum with my early work, and I went to exhibition, without telling her anything. And everybody after this had a dinner, but I have to be 10 o'clock home. So even if it was my dinner or my opening, I come home 10 to 10, and I was seeing the house was in dark, and I was so happy. Oh my God, she's sleeping. So I opened the light in the dining room, and she was sitting there, always double breast suit, like Margaret Thatcher, more or less, with a little brooch on the right side. She was sitting there in the dark. I would say, oh my God, something is wrong. And I didn't know that actually somebody called her earlier that day and say, your daughter is hanging naked on the wall. She was sitting waiting for me. So she had this huge estuary crystal, really ugly, on the middle of the table. She looked at me and she said, I'm giving you life and I'm going to take away from you. And she take estuary and throw on my head. Then I say, okay, I'm not going to move the head, and she's going to kill me, and she's going to prison, and she's going to pay for it. And then, I moved the head. So I actually went into the glass door, smashed everything, and then I left home.
Did they ever come around to your work? Do you feel like they accepted it?
When my mother
Understood it?
died, I went to clean the house, and I found the books I sent to her. And the books are big, 400 pages, huge catalogs. And she edited them herself. And every naked photograph she took away. So the book of 400 pages will be at 35. So she re-edited it in small versions that she can show to her neighbors. I don't think she ever could accept what I was doing.
Marina and her work have been the source of consistent controversy over the years. Recently, she made headlines by admitting she had had 3 abortions for the sake of her art. Do you feel there's a part of you that seeks out controversy?
There was huge controversy about my 3 abortions. Why I had abortions? In the Catholics in Italy, the women Catholics, they're saying that I'm killing children to make art, which is ridiculous. I didn't want to have children because I want to make art, and I have all rights to do that. It's very easy to take out of context my work and misinterpret it in different ways. And it's just happening, especially now. I mean, the more exposure I have, the more controversy. It's almost like a natural effect. I can't deal with this except let it go. It's the same happened in the 70s. And, I have to just follow my own intuition, do my work. The work is so serious for me. The work is like, there is a wonderful sentence of Bruce Nauman, which is a great American artist, who said, that the art should be a matter of life and death. And for me, my work is like a matter of life and death, literally.
Why did you decide to write a memoir?
Making this book is really making peace with the past. It's like shred the skin, like you're going to the new period of your life. And also, in next month, I'm getting 70. So it's such a huge amount of time I've been being artist, 50 years of career. And now I don't need to look back anymore. It's like I'm free. I going into a completely new period of life, which is going to be, last part of your life. And that last part of life have to be meaningful. It looks like empty page. What is the written there?
Oh, it says, how do you think your work has evolved as you move toward death?